Qlik Dork back again, and today, my friends, I'm going to show you some really cool stuff about how you can embed AI directly in your pipeline. Now, how did I get to this? Well, recently I had to deal with some whiners. No, not winos. We all have those. I'm talking about whiners. They asked me to move survey comments that our fictitious general hospital system had that were coming in, and as they were moving along, I had to do change data capture on it, keep those comments flowing, and did that with no problem, right? I brought in the satisfaction scores, the nursing scores, physician scores, blah, 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 and the comments, right? I brought it along, and I had it in the warehouse. No sooner did I give it to them, and they're like, well, what are we supposed to do with these? Yeah, I get that I averaged up the satisfaction scores, etc. They're like, but the comments tell us what we need to do to improve, and you're not helping us. I'm like, the comment here is pretty simple English words. The nurses were hit or miss. The doctor seemed competent. The food wasn't completely inedible, so there's that. Anybody should be able to read that comment and figure out what needs to be done. And they're like, hey, that's fantastic, Qlik Dork. You realize we got hundreds of thousands of these, right? Like, how do I know which comment needs to be read? What we'd like you to do, and I'm like, hold on, I just finished. And they're like, well, what we'd like you to do is some of that magical AI stuff. I'm like, oh, you want me to throw in some magical AI stuff, huh? Well, guess what? The good news was I didn't tell them, but it really wasn't all that hard. All I had to do was add another transformation step in my flow here for my pipeline. And I'm using an actual transform flow step. And I could do joins and unions and aggregates and all the stuff that you would normally do with data. But the one that I want to show you here is really cool is an AI step. You literally drag or drop that in. You get to pick from a list what type of magical AI you're going to use, and this is going to get pushed down. If it was Snowflake, it's going to Snowflake. If you're going to Databricks as a target, it's going to push it right down into Databricks AI, etc. And you can do one of many different things. Well, all I needed to do was sentiment analysis. Shouldn't have clicked off of that. I want to pass it in these survey comments, that textual stuff that you or I read, and it's going to output a column called survey sentiment. And I gave that to them, and they're like, we need more, we need more, we need more. Well, guess what? I can give them more because we also have a SQL block. I can pass whatever push down I want. And the crazy cool thing that they don't know, but you and I do, is that with Snowflake Cortex, that's just SQL based. I can push this down, I pass it the survey comments, but what I say is I want you to aggregate these comments to a list of primary emotional dyads separated with the hyphen, and I go on, and what I want to do is, hey, you tell me that there's no actions for me to do, and you call that negative actionability. If there's positive things, I want you to call that positive actionability, and I tell it to put that into a JSON block. And so I pass it this information. And if I were to look at a data preview of this, I'm going to have it come back. It's going to give me my sentiment from here. And these emotions, then you'll see here what it's giving me. Hey, your primary emotional dyads are love and submission. Well, why was I asking for those? Because I can put those into word clouds. And instead of just aggregating overall sentiment scores, I can give them a word cloud of words that are either primary or negative, and I can show that to them that they could then drive a little bit of motion on their end. And so you'll see for each of these, there's different ones that come back. Seeing a score with people that deal with millions and billions and seeing disappointment and disgust, those words are going to actually try to draw some action. And if I were to aggregate these up and I see those words as the largest words in my word cloud, we know what is going on here. right? And then I've got this negative actionability. Hey, implement a more rigorous cleaning protocol and quality control inspection and yada yada. And there was nothing positive about that, right? Well, what I did was I put this into a JSON block because that makes sure that the formatting for this is perfect. Snowflake, I can parse the JSON very easily. And in Qlik Sense, I could parse that JSON very easily. Now, I could just as easily break these things out if I wanted to into different fields. Give me the emotional dyads in one field, and I can read that. Give me negative actionability in a field. Give me positive actionability in a field. Give me, and I can just have different SQL expressions to go get those things if I wanted. The great news is that all of this magical AI stuff is now just embedded right in my data flow. So when I do my full load, I get the data. As the data is changing, that data comes through and I'm processing with my magical AI stuff just those new surveys or change surveys that come in. And then I've got the ability, whether I'm using Snowflake or anything else, I can read this information. And you'll see here, again, I've got this in a nice tight JSON block so that it always looks the same, row by row by row by row by row by row. And I could parse that out either using Snowflake or I can parse that out using Qlik Sense. Hey, I've really had fun showing you this, but now I've got to go because you know that they're whiners. And as soon as I show them this, they're going to be asking me for more. Hey, I hope that you have a great day. And do not hesitate to, unlike myself, just embed this magical AI as part of your data pipeline in Qlik Talend Cloud right off the bat rather than waiting for them to beg for it. Hope that you have a great day.